on my cakes. The epoxy, the 407 fairing compound. I'm using this F26 compound just to fill in the joints and to smoothen out my my curves here. So this is the first layer. So I've got the 1/2 inch plywood here to be my base for my clutches. So now that I've got, they're not going to be overhanging, so I'm going to put 2 of them here staggered and over here as well on the other side. So this F26 compound, you put MAKP hardener in it, and it's kind of like Bondo, but it's marine grade, so it's not talcum powder based. And this stuff here is like, you wouldn't want to use it to fill in a hole, but it's certainly fine for creating like a smoother finish underneath fiberglass or even on top of fiberglass. So what I would use is this, like when I have big spaces, I like the or when I want more rigidity, I use the fairing compound, the 407. It's still fairly sandable. And when I want something that's going to fill holes, I use the 403. But when I'm doing kind of like a larger area, I like the F26 compound. So 3/16 for this Barlow 22. Stuff's not cheap. High build fairing compound for the marine and tooling industry. Water resistant, easy to sand, tough, non-brittle, lightweight. With Arkema red lubricants. So I don't know what it is. It's Polyfair F26, but I don't know what the, it doesn't say what's actually in it. But it's a polyester resin. So I guess that's the main ingredient. So I use this. So I use this stuff here, and I do all my large fairing. And say, for example, on this winch mount, I'm going to make my bottom edge out of this next. So I just wanted to kind of fill in the big holes here first. It takes about a half an hour. It's already, I just applied it and you can see it's already getting hard. So once that gets thickened, it takes about half an hour. Then I'm just going to give that a light sanding. I'm going to put a second coat on, and then what I'm going to do is along the edge here at the bottom, I'm going to use my jumbo popsicle sticks that have the rounded edge, and I'm going to make a nice curve all the way around the bottom, and then I'm going to go up the side here as well, so that way everything looks kind of like it was built, more curvy. And then same with the bottom here. So I'm going to take a piece and I'm just going to make a rounded edge at the bottom of the winch mount. And the purpose of that is so that the fiberglass, then the next layers will lay down across flat, and it'll look a little bit more like a smoother finish once I get it done. Right, so that's what it looks like when I get the compound down. Not quite ready to sand. It's getting close though. It's been about half an hour. That one's ready to sand here. So that should come off pretty easily. I think I'm going to give it about another half an hour. So you can see that's my pre-finish work. Basically I just got to go and give it a little scrape, and then I'm going to lay a piece of fiberglass down right here and then have it loop down over to the deck, and then that'll be a good solid bond. And then for this one here, I still want to put 2 more layers of fiberglass down. So right now, if you'd like to help us out, like most people, we're working on a budget. We set up a Patreon page. If you'd like to join the crew, we could use some better camera equipment. That's what we're going to largely use that for, to help keep us supported making videos. And if you also, a big help would be to comment, hit the notification button, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up if you like these videos. Thank you. So I've got 45 ounces of fiberglass, so that's already very solid, plus a 1/2 inch plywood on the top. So that should work out fine, I think, for my my winches. I'm just getting this top coat done now, and I'm putting another 2 3-ounce pieces on, and go this way. And this stuff's pretty lightweight, so it's just a top finishing, but it is fiber. It's about I think it's 3 ounce. So putting 2 layers down on the top, and I'm just going to work this down. And that's the reason why I'm using this fiberglass here for the top coats. It's because it does mold and bend everything. I can really get it to lay down pretty flat, even though it's a little bit, you know, bigger than expected here. So basically, I kind of went lengthwise and lengthwise. Yeah, I don't have any here yet. Okay, so that's going to take about an hour to tack down, fully set without moving. And this biaxial has mesh underneath, and then it's a 45 stitched top. And I can see here I'm really liking this now. So the tension is this way, and I've got 2 layers down, so this is going to work out really nicely. I'm just going to get it down here in the corner. This is the only really tricky spot here. So I've added a little bit of 403 in there just to stiffen it up further. And again, this just to smoothen out the fiberglass. Well, we took a chance. Thought it was going to rain. I wasn't too sure, so we managed to get a few drops in here. I think it's okay. When I was working on it, on my pancakes, actually I should call them pancakes, or cakes. I was working on my cakes. You know, it said it was going to rain, 80% chance, so we got a rain cloud. And just looking at it here, I can feel the wind coming too. So it's going to rain 80% chance for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. So pretty much it's a write off, except for the lid here. So, and I'll be back here in the morning to do the sanding, the polyfill, polyfill F26 finishing, and then I'm going to put a white base coat down on this area here. Calling for rain in about an hour, but this is still tacky, so I can't move on until that is dry. That's my job here today. I guess I gotta wait it out again a little bit more. Hello!
Oh, goodness, Danny. You look like you belong on, I don't know, in the set of a Star Wars movie.
Hi, how are you? F26 compound, it's pink. Kind of reminds me of Bondo a little bit. And then basically it's a light fairing compound, and it dries pretty quick. I'd say within an hour I can sand this, no problems. So that's the clutch plate mount that I'm looking at, and then I've got the other clutch plate on this side, starboard side, and my winch mount here. So I'm going to give this a sand once this is dry, and I'll probably do one more layer on top. This one here had a lot, I don't know why my epoxy was pitted. There's like little holes or dents in it, so there was quite a bit to fill in there. So I'm going to be doing a lot of sanding to get that off, but we'll see how it goes. Anyways, and I just skim coated over where the winch was. So basically the winch was here before. You can see basically that it was right in there. So I'm hoping to get like maybe an 8-inch winch handle, and I should be able to bypass this, and it should have enough torque, I think, to pull most things in. I'm going to take a break here for about an hour. Just going to do some vacuuming and cleaning, and clean up any spill points that are over, and that's before sanding, and then I'm going to give this a good sand down. So I'm just going to go over it a lot. I'm trying to just see where the parts of the top that I need to work on more. I noticed that this paint's from last year, and I gave it a good mix, but there's some little flakes in it. So why I'm doing... I have to overdub here. My neighbor is vacuuming. I can't make myself out, but what I'm trying to explain is that if I don't paint it, you have all this miscolored because of all the layers. It's smooth already, but your eye looking at it thinks that it needs more sanding. So what I've learned is that you just give it using some old paint or whatever. Just paint it like when you've done a little bit of sanding, so you feel it smooth with your fingers, because the paint actually then gives you an even like everything looks similar, and then when you go over it afterwards, it's more easier to tell where you need to go. So you have a tendency to over sand and make it too smooth. It doesn't need as much typically. So what I've learned is just give it a paint, like sand it, then bring it to a point where you think that it's starting to look reasonable, paint it, let it dry, and then I start looking at it then, and I fill on top of the paint, or I sand some of the paint off. It seems to be, it goes faster this way. Because I'm running out of time, and I need to get the paint on today. So that way tomorrow I'm going to put the winches and the clutches in place. Alright, so now you can see here, I missed here, I got a little spot there, a little bit here, one little thing there. This looks pretty good. See, I would have put more there. So I do have to put a little bit more. There's some indents where I was grinding out with the big grinder. This I forgot to sand entirely, so I got to give that a pass, but this side looks here pretty good. There's a bit here, some lines here. So now I can see everything where I need to go with that. The finer polyfare, the fairing compound. This looks pretty good. A couple little spots there. So now that it's painted, I can see a hell of a lot better. Basically, just this spot here, I didn't even see that. You can see the dents in it. There's some welts. Of this repair for now. I'm going to have to revisit this, but I'm going to start, as soon as the paint's dry, start figuring out how I want to mount the clutches in there. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So I'm looking forward to getting those on Monday. Monday night I'm going to put them on, and I don't know if I'm going to do cushions or anything like that right away, but I still have a pile of work to do on the inside, but like I said, progress, small baby steps, and you get at the end in the end, right? So we're getting there. Thank you.